Are you sick of wasting so much time creating that new presentation? And do you wish that someone else could take care of all of the design and formatting? Well, with the help of AI, you can create stunning and amazing presentations in a matter of seconds. And in this video, I'm going to show you how. What we are using is a tool called Gamma. You can find it at gamma.app. And once you've signed into your free account, you can get started with Gamma in a few different ways. You can always paste in some text if you already have an outline, or perhaps you want to import a file either from Google Drive or maybe upload an existing Word doc or a PowerPoint file. But in our example, we're going to use the one-line prompt to create a complete presentation from just a simple set of instructions. So I'm going to click this one in the middle, and my first choice is if I would like to create a presentation or maybe something else completely. You can create documents and web pages with Gamma as well. But in our example, we're going to stick with a presentation. Now, down below, I can enter in the prompt I want. I want to produce a presentation that is going to help entrepreneurs to overcome that feeling of overwhelm and help them to simplify their to-do list. So I've put in that information here, and just before I hit Generate Outline, I can double check the language it is going to be using, and I can also specify how many cards it will produce. Now, Gamma uses the term cards instead of slides, so in this case, we are going to be producing 8 cards. If I think that's too much or too little, I can always adjust this here, or I can also adjust it once it has generated the presentation for me. I'm going to select Generate Outline, and it's going to take that one-line prompt and give me a complete outline of my presentation. So if I want to change anything here, I can click on any one of these titles and edit them to my liking. Maybe I don't want to say time management techniques to reduce overwhelm. I'm going to say to reduce maybe stress in this case. And if I want to reorder them, I can do that here as well. So for example, maybe I want the tools and resources to come first. I can simply click and drag and put this in a better order to my liking. Remember, nothing we do here is absolutely final, but it can give us a better outline to get started with. Down below, we've got a few other options we can choose from. For example, we can decide if we want less text per card, if we want a medium amount of text, which is probably recommended to get started, or if we want a lot of detail. And then down below, we can choose our image source. Now, this is one that you're not going to want to miss. Now, by default, it's going to scour the web and look for appropriate web images. But I really like the AI images feature because it's going to generate original artwork and original graphics specifically for my presentation. So let's choose that option and see what it comes up with. I'm going to click on Continue at the bottom of the screen. And our last step is to choose the theme we would like for our slideshow. And this is where I think Gamma really hits it out of the park, especially when it comes to comparing it to other AI-generated presentation tools. There is an awful lot of themes for us to choose from. We can filter it by a few different options here, or we can select this shuffle theme and just see if there's a few that stand out to us once we hit that shuffle button. Now, although I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce this, I kind of like this theme here, a mix of greens with a dark background and light font. Next, I'm going to select this Generate button, and Gamma will start to produce my presentation in real time, taking all of the information that I gave it from a single prompt and put together a complete presentation, which I can start to use right away. Now, the reason why I recommend that you start with the AI image generator is that the colors will be spot on with the theme that you choose. I think this is a fantastic background image for the title of this slide, Understanding Overwhelm. If I skim down below, you can see that this is a very complex image here on the right-hand side. Probably fits fairly well with the power of simplification. But again, as is the case with most AI images, you may want to double check. Of course, your presentation is so much more than just the design and the graphics. You can now come in here and adjust any of the text, move things around, remove things if you need to as you refine your presentation. But wait, the AI doesn't stop here. We can continue to use AI to help us refine our presentation. On the right-hand side of the menu, where we have a number of editing options available to us, at the very top, there is an Edit with AI button. What this will do is bring up a prompt which we can use to expand on more detail or ask it to change this image or maybe make this a bit simpler. For example, on this card here, maybe I think that this title is a little boring. So I'm going to say make the title a little more exciting, something like that. It's going to take just a few seconds and give me some options to consider. So do I want to change the color or do I just want to change the title itself? I'm going to go with the suggested one here, but I can always come back in here and change that default color. If I want to go back and say, you know what, let's go with the one that is the same with the rest of the slides. Let's do that here, but it's going to give me some suggestions that I don't have to go with, but I can choose before applying to my slides. Now, when we're happy with our presentation, there's a few different ways in which we can share it or present it to others. We can come up here and select this share button and send a link either to those we would like to collaborate with on, or we can share the finished product with them so that they can just view it. But we can also export it to popular tools such as Microsoft PowerPoint, or perhaps you'd like to download it as a PDF. We can do that here as well. But you don't have to do any of that if you don't want to. Here we can select the Present button and immediately start to share our presentation, perhaps in your favorite video conferencing tools. Now, things get better though when it comes to sharing or presenting your slides. Here, just to the left of your profile picture, you can actually view analytics for your presentation. So, for example, you can see exactly when this presentation was last viewed, but if I come up here and select card engagement, I can see exactly how long people have spent on each one of these cards. So if I'm sending this out to a potential customer or a client, or maybe just someone within my own organization, I can see exactly what is keeping their attention and even if they completed the entire presentation at all. So if you're ready to make your presentations, documents, and web pages look amazing in a fraction of the time, go to gamma.app to get started for free. Thank you so much for watching today's video, and remember, being productive does not need to be difficult. In fact, it's very simple.